So this was something we were watching for the last few months, seeing a little bit of a dip over the summer there, but again, a very strong October, 27% year over year, from up to 657,000 for average sales price in the city of Woodstock. One item we've been keeping a close eye on for new residential permits is compared to last year, we're not seeing as near as many single family permits. So in my conversations last month,
wow, like a quarter of what was happening. Well, hey everybody, again, it's another video with Kory MacKinnon. I'm helping to take over the channel for the rest of the month of November. Matt McKeever has been kidnapped up to a citadel with struggling internet connection, and just a chance to get some other faces here on the channel. So I'm super excited to spend some time with you today. We've been covering lots of different cities, and this video is about Woodstock and surrounding areas. So I'm here with Derrek. I'm looking forward to finding out more about Derrek, especially those belts that he has behind him. He must be a ninja or some sort of martial artist here, and real estate investor turned to realtor now. Looking forward to hearing Derrek's stats and maybe just some interesting stories and things that have been happening on the market, as well as where he thinks the market is going here coming into the new year. And a lot of people have thought that we've had a crazy ride here for the past 20 months. I think that 2022, it's not like we're out of the woods yet. I think there's definitely going to be a lot more coming down the pipeline, as I've mentioned on some of the past videos here. So Derrek, welcome to your update video here, and looking forward to jumping into what you have to share with the audience today.
Yeah, thanks for the intro, Kory. I want to get into October update for Woodstock and surrounding areas. So I got my presentation here. So what I want to get into first is, before I get into the Woodstock stats, what I've been doing recently with my videos is highlighting a small area or town around Woodstock before I'm getting into the Woodstock stats. So my area of focus today, I want to highlight Tillsonburg. So it's also a town in southwestern Ontario and about 30 minutes south of Woodstock, and it has a population of roughly 15,000. That was back in 2016. So roughly 1/3 the size of Woodstock. It's a little bit, it's not like Ingersoll that we covered last month. It's a little bit farther off the main highways, 15 to 20 minutes from the 401, but it has a number of major employers, a bunch of automotive, manufacturing, different things. So when you're looking at different areas to invest in, it's always good to understand the economics of the town and area. And what I really like is there's a lot of diversity in types of manufacturing companies and different things like that in the Tillsonburg area.
Well, I love Tillsonburg. It used to actually be part of my territory back when I was in corporate. I was in charge of a lot of southwestern Ontario, and I can remember early 2000s. I think the population was maybe half that size. Not too many major employers, so it's great to see it, and no doubt the population has probably increased here in the past 5 years. Can't wait to get this latest census information whenever that's going to come out. But it's great to see that they have some things happening in their town.
Yeah, for sure. And just for those that are not really sure where Tillsonburg is, so there you got the Woodstock, the 401 corridor, and then directly south here we got Tillsonburg. So yeah, the economics of Tillsonburg are going to be a little bit different than, let's say, Woodstock and Ingersoll, just because they're not on that 401 corridor. You're not looking so much at the commuters or that kind of thing, but still opportunity for lots of potential there as well.
Totally. Everybody's going where there's value. So if there's value in Tillsonburg, Norwich, I mean, Delhi, Simcoe, you name it, people are going to go seek it out.
Yeah, for sure. So, and when I'm looking at a town to invest in, it's always good to kind of understand the layout of the town and kind of how the town grew. So here you got a big ravine, natural features there, and then here on the south you get a lot of the industry, commercial buildings, that kind of stuff. And here the 19 coming directly from the 401 from the north, so that comes directly in. You got the main corridor of the town and all the retail space around here, and on both of the sides here you get a lot of residential areas, and there's a lot of new subdivisions coming on the outskirts as well, so a lot of new homes going in, so lots of people continuing to move into the area as well.
That's great to see some like staple, tenants there as well, right? You got Sobeys, you got Zehrs as well.
Yeah, and
sometimes it's like build it and they will come. So can't imagine if a Canadian Tire or a Walmart came that way, it would just like throw some more gasoline on the fire.
Yeah. Tillsonburg actually does have a Walmart.
Oh, good.
Downtown as well. So yeah, it's good.
Well, Walmart's pretty smart. They've done the research.
Yeah, for sure. And just kind of what's on the market. It's always good to display kind of what's kind of opportunities are out there. So this is a triplex for sale in Tillsonburg. So we'll take a look at the MLS listings, and then kind of the napkin math that I kind of put together for this listing. So take a look here at maybe a couple of the pictures. So it looks like a solid building. This garage is available to rent separately as well from the other 3 units.
There's definitely more to it than meets the eye, right? Like some of the, it must be deep and be on a decent sized lot.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, all those separate meters.
Even separate gas meters.
Yeah.
So that's awesome for the landlord. They're not going to be paying the heating costs, hopefully. There's no common meter. Usually on a lot of like triplexes, there'd be a 4th meter for like common areas that the landlord would pay for some of those things. But I guess this one's just all buried into the units.
Yeah. Yeah, and overall it looks like a solid building.
Yeah.
We can go back and take a look at the numbers you got here.
So price per unit, if it sells at full asking, I mean, you're at $233,000 a unit. Let's look at what the rents would look like here.
Yeah, so currently it's rented out for a total yearly amount of just shy of $40,000. I didn't get the breakdown for the individual units. This just gave a lump sum for that, $3,300 a month. And upon closing, one of the units is going to be vacant. So that's opportunity to increase some of the rents there. And so
with an average rents, of $1,100, I could see that, unless these are all 1-bedroom apartments, which, I mean, that was a big property. There's got to be some bigger units in there that definitely there's upside potential for these rents to go up.
Yeah, they're all 2-bedroom, and then the one coming vacant was also potential to become a 3-bedroom unit as well. So
love it.
And then throwing in the taxes, insurance, maintenance. And this is obviously kind of like the napkin math. I'm using 2%, which as of right now, it's kind of right in between the variable and fixed rate mortgages. So yeah, you're not at this purchase price and rental income. There's not going to be a lot of cash flow on this property. So it obviously depends what your goals are and how you're going to finance it. Because I know some investors out there using other people's money or different things like that. this is probably not going to be a property that's going to work for them with this cash flow, but it is an opportunity maybe for somebody that wants to house hack a little bit of a nicer building in a little bit of a nicer area and wants their mortgage paid. So that is maybe more inclined to an investor like that.
Yeah, and hey, maybe they'll just sit on the market, right? We're starting to perhaps go into a little bit of a slower time of the year, and maybe that price will soften up a little bit. But if you can get those rents up well over 4,000, that's when it just becomes a better and better deal. And we explain this to people all the time there, Derek, that sometimes the price you pay for something it's not the biggest factor, right? I don't want to say that it's irrelevant. However, if you can work your magic because you got the skills to renovate the units and increase the rents dramatically, it looks like the expenses are already priced out to the tenant, which is a bonus. Yeah. I've got some properties like that where literally all I pay is like the taxes, because the tenants pay for everything, water, and these are in multis, right? This is not like a single family home. These are on multis, so it's a bonus when those things have been already pieced out to the tenants and they're paying the bills.
Yeah. And then moving into some of the stats on the Woodstock market here, and the market overall is staying very strong. Typically, in the last 3 years on the market trends, especially towards late fall, we're going to seeing a dip in activity and that kind of thing. But this fall overall, we're seeing a strong fall. For example, the days on market have held steady at 13, and
that's awesome. Like just with some of the other market updates we've seen here in the past week, the new listings have really fallen off. So you guys are actually seeing a little bit of an uptick there by 15 to 20%. So that's but hopefully that'll trend into November, so that there's just more options for people that are looking to buy and for realtors to keep doing their thing too.
Yeah, for sure. And then moving on to your average sales price per month. So this was something we were watching for the last few months, seeing a little bit of a dip over the summer there. But again, a very strong October, 27% year over year, from up to 657,000 for average sales price in the city of Woodstock. Now, right here on the bottom right, I got also the average for Tillsonburg. So we just covered that, 596,000 average in October. So it's a little bit cheaper than Woodstock. So that's also some of the reasons why people are drawn to that specific area. And just because, and from the Canadian Real Estate Association, from their October report, the entire Tillsonburg board district, the average year-over-year appreciation was 37%, which was one of the highest in Ontario. So just because it's not a larger city or on the main highways doesn't mean you're not going to see that appreciation as well.
Yeah, it's not like people's wages have gone up by 27.4% in the last year. So if they're stuck at what they can qualify for, they should have been saving even more for a down payment. But all things equal, they got to start seeking out the extra value, right? So if Tillsonburg is going to be more affordable than Woodstock, I mean, that's where not just investors are going to go, but that's where end users are going to go. And that is a good size uptick in the month of October. Looked like there was kind of like hitting a ceiling of like that 620 to 630, and then they just jumped over closer to 670. So that is I guess 660. That's huge. And we saw really similar numbers in Milton too, where they were kind of like bouncing around the threshold of $1 million, and they just broke through by another 5 to 10%. So,
and this is one of the breakdowns that I've been looking at in the last few months. So looking at just the average price per size of home, kind of looking at what people are looking to get into, and what part of the market is staying strong. So obviously the 1,500 square foot or less, which makes up the bulk of the market, continues to do very well. I was keeping a close eye on the middle of the market there to see there appeared to be in the midsummer almost some signs of softening in that area. But again, the month of October, seeing that large increase in average sales price, and that happened in pretty much all areas of the market. On the 2,500 square feet or more, you're going to see a lot more variation in that, just because there's a lot less homes sold in that size. So for example, the 86 homes sold, only 14 were in that very top range. So, and
Yes.
Last month there was only 6. So that's why, just based on the type of homes sold in September, we've seen that peak. So really looking at the areas where you have more data on the 1,500 square feet or less. And
totally. And and again there, Derek, I got to commend you on following the numbers. I know not all realtors do, or they look at it, they don't know how to interpret it. You know, if somebody was looking at this for the September stats, they might be like, oh, these bigger homes, like, wow, it's going to skyrocket. There might be a trend going upwards, but no, it's just a blip. There might have been some outliers there. If there's only 14 that trade, you know, between 10 and 14, you got a couple big monster ones that really skew the numbers, and they have to include them. Now it's back down again to what looks like almost the full year trend. You know, since December of last year, they've kind of been holding steady just over 900,000. So
yeah, for sure. And looking at the different trends gives you somewhat of idea. So, and then when you see a blip like that, what I like to do is then go find the actual listings and sales that actually made up that blip, and start digging a little bit deeper into the individual properties. And because a lot of times once you start seeing the properties, then you kind of get a feel for why that may have gone up.
Definitely.
Or down like that.
You got to get in the weeds, right? You got to figure out what's going on for your clients before you guys put in a plan to go and buy or sell.
And then looking at some of the building activity here in Woodstock. So one item we've been keeping a close eye on for new residential permits is compared to last year, we're not seeing as near as many single family permits. So in my conversations last month,
wow, like a quarter of what was happening.
Yeah, and some of that has to do with the different subdivisions, because typically they like to go for their permits in batches. So there's supposed to be a few more phases coming to the large subdivisions in Woodstock. So that's something I'm really keeping an eye on for when those get released, and because that means there's more supply coming to the market, which is one of the main issues in driving up the prices. There's just simply not enough supply.
You can also see the numbers of let's say row housing, right? Row housing has increased significantly. Maybe that's a trend. You know, people, if the single family homes are getting too expensive, and even the semis are getting too expensive, hey, we might have to go to row housing, right? It's better than being in a high-rise condo. You'll actually get a little piece of your own yard and that sort of thing. But it is just the nature of the beast, right? We're dealing with like inflationary times, and you know, it's not just a right anymore to go own a house. It really is a privilege, and you got to see what you can afford.
Yeah, for sure. And then kind of just what I've been up to. So I've been working on a flip, and we just got that completed. So got a couple before and after pictures here. That was in the smaller town of Otterville. So that's just been completed and back on market as of the end of last week, and just been busy with showing clients different homes. I have a number of people looking for investment properties as well, and also some first-time home buyers also trying to get in the market. So that's just something we're seeing a lot of. It's just there's a lot of people continually looking for an opportunity to get in the market. So my outlook is that the local market anyway is going to stay very strong into next year, because there's just so many people that are waiting on the sidelines. There's people looking for possibly an investment property. There's people looking to buy their first home, and I've been dealing with a decent amount of people also looking to move out of the city, especially like the Tillsonburg area, because it's a town that really doesn't feel like a big city. It's a little bit more laid back, but you still have a lot of the amenities close by. So yeah, there's definitely a strong outlook for demand going into next year.
Excellent. Hey, just to back up on your flip, are you comfortable maybe sharing some numbers, or like what it's listed at, or exciting to see? I'm sure the next time we do a market review, it's going to be sold, but
yeah,
that's some pretty wild wallpaper or sponging that was on the wall there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't have the numbers with me today, but yeah, maybe that's something I can bring to the next update.
Well, no doubt that there's some profit there.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, it's currently listed at $599.
Awesome. Maybe just for viewers here, Derek, that this is their first time seeing you on a video, maybe you want to just tell a little bit about just the Woodstock area in general. It's highly desirable for location. I'll let you talk about the different corridors it's close to, and why it's. I remember it sometimes, a couple of years ago, the prices in Woodstock rivaled the ones in London, and London is a much bigger city, much more diverse economy there. Not that Woodstock isn't. It's just much smaller. So, why are people going to Woodstock? Why have they gone to Woodstock in the past? Why do you look like Woodstock and have decided to hang your hat there?
Well, I think for me, Woodstock, like it's in a terrific location and area. So location wise, it's right on the intersection there of the 401 and 403. It's 45 kilometers east of London, 45 kilometers west of Brantford. So very centrally located to some big population centers. And then within an hour's drive, it has access to almost 2 million people, which is a lot. So there's lots of opportunity for commuters going either way. There's a lot of people coming as they slowly get pushed out of Toronto and Hamilton. They're coming down the 401 there. So and also for different industries, we're seeing a lot of different industries and companies coming into Woodstock, because just jumping on the 401 gives them great access logistically to the different cities and makes life a lot easier for them.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can get to within 30 to 60 minutes of Woodstock. And lots of times, when I'm meeting people, I'm like, hey, let's go meet halfway in Woodstock, because I'm all the way out in Sarnia. And if they're coming from the GTA, it's like, hey, let's go pull off the highway, and we can meet at the Tim Hortons or something there. And it's just awesome to have seen the power of what a highway can do for a city like Woodstock. 25 years ago, I used to go to weightlifting contests in Woodstock and Ingersoll, and it was like everybody would make fun of it. Oh, we got to go to Woodstock again. That small little city, but it's continuing to grow, and obviously big industry has decided to set up shop there, which you get all the spin-off business, you get the increased home prices, and again, people don't want to live in a big city. It's interesting when you were talking about Tillsonburg. If it's 15 or 20 minutes away from things, people that have typically lived there or want to move there, they're just used to driving. Like, to them, 20 to 30 minutes is nothing. You're just getting your car warmed up, and you're going to be spending a little bit more money on gas anyways. And very popular with, obviously, retirement age type. They're seeking more value too. So, Tillsonburg, Simcoe used to be looked at as more retirement cities. Now they're actually like, well, no, I'm a millennial. I can't afford something in London, so I got to start going wherever my 600,000 or 650 approval will get me. And if that means I'm going to be living in a city that's close to where I want to be, but it's not exactly, then that just might be the concessions that they make for the first 3 years of being a homeowner.
Yeah, excellent analysis there. Yeah, that's everything I have for today. So if anybody wants to reach out to me, they can follow me on Facebook or Instagram, or feel free to message me. I'm always willing to chat about real estate.
Awesome, Derek. Well, it's great to hear it from the trenches as someone who doesn't just sell the product, but they also get in there. You're doing flips and investments as well yourself. And I find that that's key when you're looking to be an investor as well. You don't want someone that's going to talk about hypothetical situations. You want someone who's been there, done that. They have the t-shirt or the belts on the wall. So make sure you're reaching out to Derek. And again, everybody, thanks for following along, and looking forward to the update to see if some of our predictions do come true in the new year of 2022, because I think it's going to be still a wild ride. There's going to be opportunities, there's going to be upside, there's also going to be like more challenges for people that buy that don't have the information. So make sure you're staying tuned in tune to this channel so you can get the latest updates like this one. All right, friends, so from Derek and myself, have yourself an amazing week, and make sure that you're staying on top of your data when you want to be the market expert.